Welcome everyone. It's 4:04 on the clock. I have just a couple quick reads for you today. I actually told you about a message of the day yesterday, then I didn't tell you it. So I'm going to give you that one as well as the Metatron read for the day, which is on the table right now. I'm going to do the Metatron read first because that's from today. And today is the 1st of February. So what do we have here? We have the 9 today and the 1. The 1 and the all, the Hermit and the Magician. Very powerful energy of manifesting, but also going within. Magic and the Hermit, which is the 1 and the all, right? The going within, but also connecting to the collective. So I did the Metatron read at 9:25 to 9:26 this morning. And the 9 is the Hermit, the 25 and 26 are the Page and Knight of Wands, which I think they came up together in something else I did too. So very much that inspired young energy. The underlying card was the Communications card, which I'll show you on the table here since I have the cards out for you. So the bottom of the deck is the 3rd card down actually. This is the original bottom of the deck, which is the Communication card, which is number 5. It's a message in the bottle. And the only colors that came up were white, silver, and lilac. So very, crown-oriented energy and above. And again, no elements came up. Very interesting. It's like they're just encompassing all the elements. So there's no element that needed to be pointed out. So again, that very high vibration of the crown and above. The first card out was Authentic Self, which is this card up here on the table, which is about the 46, which is also the 6 of Cups, the children loving each other, and the birthing of the child, whether it's your inner child or you're dealing with your children as well. Here's how the message came. The Queen, I'm going to show you the picture too, so if you can't see it well on the table, you can see it here. Okay, this is the spread on the table. I'm going to roll the die first too. For the Twin Flames today, February 1st, 2022, the month of February, what are we expecting here? We have Libra here, which is all about balance. We have Saturn here, excuse me, not Saturn, Uranus is here. And number 9, which again is the Hermit, which came up very significantly today. The Hermit is the 1 and the all. It's also the month of September, which goes into Libra, and we have Libra here as well as Uranus, which is connected with Aquarius. So again, a lot of air energy, and the Hermit, which is Virgo. And Virgo can be seen as an air sign at times because they are very much in their minds at times, being that it's a mercurial energy. So this is how the read went. The Queen of Cups, child perhaps, purging the light body. The Knight of Swords being the key to their freedom. Speak and be heard as the message within is delivered and ready to be opened. Rebuilding the family from both dualistic extremes, going toward the center, again the tree, from the roots that are connected with the older folk, and then the top of the tree, which are the newbies, the babies and the young children, who are already connecting very well, but it's moving towards the middle, just like the energy of duality and moving towards the middle. Where the land meets the sea, meets the sky, meets the I am. The authentic self, the child. Remember, you are me. Why do your eyes purge what they have seen? And eye issues have been coming up this week as well. A child is a literal message as well. Think about this. When you birth a child, you're birthing a piece of yourself to show you what you need to heal. So your child is also a trigger for you to see what to heal. And then as you heal, you're literally healing each other, right? Because you share the same DNA. A child is a literal message too. One big purge in a birth, in a walkie-talkie, your child, that you make. It has to do with what needs to come out, like needing to make what needs to come out very apparent. And notice a parent is in that word. The Ten of Cups family, emotional fulfillment, and the signs from Spirit with love at 9:46, the Hermit and the children, the loving children. Destined new dawn, clearing the slate. Welcome back today. The divine, and again, we have this new month, right? So it's this starting fresh again, the beginning of February. We have a new day every day. We have a new month, a new week. You know, there's always chances for a new beginning. The divine feminine with signs and synchronicities right now. The divine masculine with Akashic review. Hermit, take action. Detach from karmic grid, or karma is ending around the world. Focus on conquering your fears within yourself, but also in helping your children to find their way. Sam the Illusionist was just on with a new channeling too, talking about how what you eat. So if you eat second and third density animals, then you stay in the karma. But if you eat the lower second and first densities, like, you know, fruits and vegetables, you don't. There's no karma attached to that. And he said too that if the animal forgives you, then you can clear that. But you know, that's not a guarantee. So that's some energy that was coming in through him. You can watch his video. It was a long one, so there's some interesting information that came through there. But again, here talking about detaching from the karmic grid. Karma ending around the world, focusing on conquering fears with self, but also helping your children to find their way. And again, it's not doing it for them, but teaching them how to do it for themselves. The inner child, hear and know me. So we're talking now about your inner child or your inner self, but also your children, which have been your inner children in your womb. What parts of you are each of your children? And what's weighing on you and them, and weight issues were coming up here, which is of course a big one around the world. Again, especially in my family, we've had a lot of starvation in my history. So starvation related weight issues are coming up also. So if you survive, so think about this, if you survive and are abundant, then you're seeing yourself as a fat cat, and then people reject you and only want you for your money, stability, or status. If you lose weight, you are scared because of these starvation wounds that you will starve to death as opposed to flourish. Okay? And fat also literally, think about this, protects you from attack. Like, so that the psyche can think that, well, if I put fat on my body and I get knifed, maybe you got knifed in a past life, the knife won't get through the fat if maybe you got stabbed with a 3-inch knife, right? Maybe it won't get to your organs. So there's literal things that come up with weight issues. Also, someone who may have been raped in a past life may think that if they're fat, that they'll be less attractive to a rapist, so they won't have to live in fear. So there's all these energies regarding weight issues coming up. Again, starvation. So if you survive and you become abundant, it's like because you had starvation wounds and you're going to be abundant, then you need to be fat to be abundant. You need to be the fat cat. And then people will reject, but then the issue comes up that they reject you for the way you look. And again, this is just a generalization. Obviously, that's not true for everybody. But then there's a wound of people only wanting you for your money, stability, or status. Again, right? So this is catch-22 between weight and abundance. And remember too, the fat has come up also as a way to protect you from yourself, right? So when you're expressing self-hatred, you get fat because your body is literally protecting you from yourself, because you're trying to reject yourself when you're self-loathing. So there's all these reasons coming up as to why fat may accumulate on your body. So love and relationships, the love, family, community, the mother, and the harmony coming up here. The aqua gold rose heart, the healthy mother's love, who loves you just as you are, right? Obviously, that's not always the case, but a healthy mother's love does love you just as you are, unconditionally. But also, as part of that, it's the mother's responsibility to guide and teach you, which may become a tough love as well, right? So the child may not see it as being loving. At 10:06 a.m., which is that high vibration in the 6 of the lovers, love, family, and community, the King of Swords, purity and innocence comes up. And I was seeing this very much as one set of messages was coming up as my daughter, and the other one was coming up as my son, but also expressing, for me, my daughter probably expresses more of the masculine, and my son may express more of the feminine. So it was very interesting the way I was seeing this. So if you have children, you might want to look into that, or any child actually who's in your family that you may associate with on a regular basis, or maybe you're taking care of. The King of Swords with purity and innocence on the Tree of Life journey from that rust orange of the sacral energy to gold. So clearing out that rustiness that's still in the etheric layer in order to get to the gold of unity consciousness, to just tweaking the old in order to make it brand new. And then the evolution of the Page of Cups was coming up, and all of the cups, court cards were coming up here in the read. The evolution of the Page of Cups, which is that pure innocent love of the baby, and birthing the new, starts in the heart at 10:09, when I was getting big chills right there, which is the high vibration, and again the 9 of the collective, and the Hermit as well at the same time. The 1 and the all of the 1 and the 9. Then Archangel Sandalphon, or Saint Dolphin, on the Fool's journey with you. So take advantage of that. And I've always gotten Sandalphon connected with my son. Healing and coming together, and pause to receive. And then it was interesting because Sandalphon and the card with number 43, which is my son's soul number, came up right next to each other. So they were confirming that energy. So you may have a son who is like my son, perhaps, that is connecting with that Sandalphon energy, which is very creative and sweet and kind. It's a very soft energy. But again, and also the first child is coming up, right? What is the wound, or what is the wound of being the first child or having the first child? Is there anything in that will come up for you? She in the womb, he in the loom was coming up as the healing above you, showering blessings upon you to help find the needle in the haystack, the sword in the ocean, right? Of the millions and trillions of drops of water in the ocean, after falling out of the stone, after the sword naturally fell out of the stone because you melded together and became one. So again, to help find the needle in the haystack is your children, like she's in the womb helping you from within, he is in the loom helping you from above, showering blessings upon you to find the needle in the haystack, the sword in the ocean after falling out of the stone, or the purple moon, which is the 0 point. Where the light meets the dark, it becomes purple. The silver is also metallic energy in the warrior of light. March or June was coming up as home and union, or also the Pisces child conceived in June. 6/14 was literally coming up here to March 14th, which is Pi. Or if conceived in June, your union in June, then a March birth will follow. So they were equating the unions coming together this year based on when you actually first conceived your union. It was very interesting. And then 9 months later. So again, if you conceived a child in June, you would normally have that in March. And the same thing's coming up here for the unions. As above, so below, of the weeping willow. So remember, in all for one and one for all, it's a reflection of each other, the 14 and the 41. So the all reflects as well, which then becomes LLA, which is a word that means to weep or cry. So that was coming up again with the weeping willows here, that reflects all, one for all, and La for one. And all was coming up as well as the rocket shape. It looks like the rocket ship, but with the 2 L's, it's like the support of the rocket ship before it takes off. But when you reverse the all into the La word, it now looks like the TP, because I talk about the capital A as the TP and the rocket ship. When it's reversed, it looks like the TP, but with 2 who are aligned as the 11 outside the TP, waiting to go in. A very grounded energy as opposed to very galactic energy. 1 for rocket, takeoff and blast off, and all for 2 outside the TP, weeping. Heaven and earth, and answering the call to dance and lead the way towards the light with the flame in the right hand, or seeing the flame at the right angle or perspective. To clarify the shadow, go within, and again, see white light showering all around you. So again, the one for an all for one is coming up as very significant because the 1 and the 9 today, right? The 1 and the all. But again, the polarity of the galactic life and the very grounded shaman life, or I also refer to it as the shaman and the shoeman, like Mr. Ed, the shoeman. So 1 for the rocket, and then 2 outside the TP weeping, heaven and earth, and answering the call to dance and lead the way towards the light with the flame in right hand, or again, seeing the right perspective. So then lilac came up. When I first saw it, it looked like ulac, U-L-A-C, so that might mean somebody for someone. It's actually the same letters as UCLA, but that's not what it is. But that UCLA could be coming up for somebody. Or it's literally ULAC is ulac. 10:23 is the time right there, which is a high vibration in the King of Wands. So the lilac energy, which has to do with higher realms and magic, for a message from that energy, the magic kingdom queendom, dum-dum, the K and the Q, which K is the energy and Q is the quantum leap. The K is coming up as the focused creative energy, and then the Q as the human quantum leap of the king and the queen. At the purple moon, at 0 point field, like, this is the meeting date and this is the place. Remember that the mother holds and is present when blue. The ancestors come in for energetic exchange, for appreciation and healing. The King of Cups, with their unconditional love, which means self-love as well, detaches from drama to help you look up. And then be love as the Knight of Cups instead. Movement in the heart healing and helping you towards this. The indigo, remember, is complete and whole and connected to the stars of mystery and mastery of life to help you with that. And then Gaia is your go-to for creation, abundance, and expansion in your life, right? In a very grounded way. So the underlying energy here was the Queen of Cups, healing the light body with a message to bring. Then the first column was about the Six of Cups. This is all about the cups here. The Six of Cups of the children loving each other, whether it's the inner children or outer children, but loving the Six of Cups children for Akash review with angelic guidance of innocence and purity of the King of Swords. The Ten of Cups is that emotional family, the spirit family, and self-love and health, going within to the inner child to enjoy the journey or learn to do that. The third column here was all about the Page of Cups and that pure, innocent love and the evolution of that love, the new dawn without karma. And then the Fool's Cup is the Three of Cups joy, and there's sirens going on outside. The Fool's Cup comes up as the Three of Cups of coming together in joy, with union with the Ace of Cups, which is self-love, spiritual love, and new love. And the King of Cups and Knight of Cups waiting in the wings. Remember, wings is W in God. Held by the mother, the 3D mother and ancestors on one side, and on the other side, the indigos and Mother Earth, Terra Gaia on the other side. Okay, so one side is more of the 3D energies of your relatives and your mother, your 3D mother, and the other side is the indigo children and the earth, and in the 5D energy of Gaia. And then he not wanting to take sides, right? The indigo is in the middle here. Or excuse me, the King of Cups, Knight of Cups is in the middle there. Not wanting to take sides, or in other words, off sides, out of bounds, or taking down the walls of Jericho at 10:37, which is that high vibe in the 37 of the King of Cups and unconditional love. So again, that last part was a summary of who there's always different people to go to for the different things you need, right? You have the mother to give you unconditional love when you're not feeling good and make you feel better about yourself and comfort. And then that Six of Cups, the children, to help you learn how to teach them and connect with your angelic guidance. And again, remind you of the innocence and purity of the King of Swords. And then, of course, the family of your emotions. Who is your family of emotions? The spirit family and self-love and health. Going in within your own inner child to enjoy the journey and remembering that. And then the innocence of the Page of Cups and your love evolution. The new dawn without karma. And then that reminder And that the Fool's cup is the Three of Cups and joy, remembering to come together with self-love first and then extending love to others. Remember that the King of Cups with the Knight of Cups, action of love, is waiting in the wings, held by the 3D Mother and ancestors on one side, and the Indigos and Mother Earth, Terra, or Gaia on the other side, which really was coming up as more of that 4D, 5D energy. But he not wanting to take sides, okay? So Out of Bounds started to take down the walls of Jericho. And that came up yesterday too, as I'd said that I felt like US and Canada would be the next to merge and take the walls down and become one entity. Like Europe became one entity. So now I want to give you the message of the day that I forgot to give to you yesterday. I showed you the picture and then I didn't share the message. So definitely wanted to give it to you today. And here is that picture again. This is the message of the day. It's the Animal Spirit deck, the LENORMAND Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, and then the KIPPER deck. Okay, and this was done at 11 last night, not last night, but the night before, because I meant to give it to you yesterday. It's double zeros behind the 11, which is a lot of source energy, backing up the alignment of justice, truth, and balance. And the movies Uncorked came up that night, as well as there's a series on called The Club. It's kind of interesting to me too. It's got a lot of old wounds, regarding not old wounds in this life, but other life wounds. So that might be good to help bring some stuff up for you to clear if you're interested. It could be more interesting to women than men, but I guess it just depends on who you are. The message of the day, the underlying energy, is the cosmic egg, the child, the Four of Wands reversed, and imprisonment. And cosmic egg in this deck is the crown chakra. And those were the colors that came up as well. And the child was, the read today was all about the child. And then the Four of Wands reversed has to do with the unstable home, or the move, the visit, the end of the party, or the party's over type of energy. And again, the imprisonment of all of these energies. So the first thing that came out here was the awakening of the 1,000 suns. And again, Sam was just talking about China, and who made an artificial sun, and I had no idea about that because I don't listen to the news or anything. So if any of you are aware of that, you can comment below. But the awakening of the 1,000 suns, the child in transition, unstable and imprisoned, the nightingale, and then the phoenix rising, and the owl here, the wise one, with the starfish turtle and the collective awakening here. Perhaps someone's taking an exam, but there's some kind of examination and taking steps to get to the juicy center. How do I do this? With lucky magic adventure of the power lady looking out for the child in transition. The Knight of Cups reversed with the sovereign upright lovers and the wounded warrior surrender, healing and stability in a move and or visit. The King of Cups child may be entertaining the Queen of Wands thief. Main male number 1, or all he had to endure to get where he is now. Perhaps offering a gift, a dream come true, to heal and release. Or the gift is actually imprisoning them. There's a lot of thief energy coming up right now. But here's coming up the King of Cups child entertaining the Queen of Wands thief. And maybe she stole his heart, or maybe she's also comes from a family in that energy, but doesn't necessarily mean she is. But be careful about that stuff, because people who come off as really friendly and they're really easy to connect with right away may not always be who they're pretending to be, if you get my drift. And they may just be that nice. So main male number 1, or all he had to endure to get where he is now, right? Not wanting to lose it, offering a gift, a dream come true, to heal and or release, or the gift becomes imprisoning to them. The first section here is the bunny, the mouse, and the bat, which is very young energy. The little ones, the scared, the nervous, and the brave, lost in space though, perhaps the space cadet. The bunny in a public meet with the journeyman or cab driver, inspired by the unexpected, or unexpected income, or unexpected incoming person perhaps. The mouse aligning with cracking the whip, with justice of the Page of Cups innocent, or union judication. The bat Knight of Wands is committed to Atlas and all their responsibilities and that way to the world, and perhaps occupied with energetic exchange or a lot of back and forth at their job. The journey of the innocent and the weight of the world, right, of the child. The second section here is the bear and the oyster. And I was getting Papa Bear right off the bat, and then the oyster, who's all clammed up. Dr. Jekyll and Hyde dictating or IV or flashlight dance. Somebody could be looking for somebody with a flashlight or something with a flashlight, but flash dance was also just coming up. Dr. Jekyll and Hyde dictating or IV dance with the King of Wands and pests. The bear, jackal with bad influences, overindulging, social distancing, and Atlas ship ungrounded. The oyster with their feelers out for those little pests. And that can be, like, just as an example, it could be just, a mouse in the house and the young ones scared to come out of their room because they're scared of mice. So they're just putting their little feelers out, but they won't actually come out. And here the King of Wands has to take care of it. Could be as simple as that. But the oyster with their feelers out for those little pests and announcing the King of Wands with legal papers and or the courthouse with no reunion or just not coming together. This can be bad influences as well, and a wake-up call. The third section here is the dragon and the crow, the big brother and the lookout. The dragon's eye on an abundant exchange, dumping a load on with or on the main female, number 2, with the crow on high alert, with pushy shadow mama bear in tow, imprisoned with bad health or anxiety about healthcare conflicts here. The fourth section is the wolf and the crocodile. The wolf is stunned, or perhaps they got caught, exposed for leaving the wounded warrior's path. The crocodile king of cups with time crunch or time on their hands and keeping their cards close to their chest about the house or the big house or the final judgment coming up or the gated community, perhaps not telling why they're leaving. The 5 here is the shark and the butterfly. A romantic journey with secret passion and dance of the masks and false persons, perhaps. And again, we can all have that falseness if we wear a mask or don't show our true, authentic self all the time. The butterfly, king of cups, who's very loving, taking a chance with the empress reversed in the knight of cups community. The high priestess reversed and the empress reversed with shark attack and transformation here. And they could be, that can be a secret passion with someone who's not well or in lack, or that could be a mother who needs to use their intuition, but also could be a mother and their sister, especially like an older, like a grandmother and their aunt and your great aunt, that kind of energy. But they're both coming up reversed here, but they come up a lot together in that respect. And the was the emperor there too? No. And there's some kind of shark there, right? So again, the shark who could take advantage of little old ladies and that kind of thing, that could come up as well. At 1146, which is justice and the 6 of cups, the snake, I don't even know what that is. Hold on one sec. And the black egg. Hold on one sec. I have to look at the picture. Oh, it's the deer. The snake, the deer, and the black egg. The collective dear one and the truth, awakening to the abundant ship of the King of Swords reversed, who's now officially on the Fool's journey. The dear one, complete with heart open wide on the journey of despair, which also can be the pair, and the black egg, all about the throat chakra, with the romantic pup, fallen angel, or perhaps they fell for a wise, privileged lady. The King of Swords reversed with Pisces upright and Sag reversed ascending. And the 7th section is the frog and the whale. The frog and the very exhausted whale needing a lifeline. The frog may have sudden stardom or dreams, but without options on the high vibe journey as the conductor or the engineer. The whale with wise community needing closure and hermiting the changes at 1151, which again is bringing up the King of Swords and the alignment of justice, which can be a Libra King of Swords. So let's pull a few clarification cards or oracle cards here to see what else comes up for you guys, since I don't have my big read for you today. right, let's start with the animal spirit deck. It's 4:33 on the clock, which is the Emperor and the Christ vibration of standing up for yourself without being triggered. And it's 30:03 on this clock, which is the 30 of union and 3 of the Empress, or abundance of Gaia. All right, so take a deep breath. I was guided to do Miss Mary Mac again before my video as well, which crosses over and balances the energies from right to left, from the masculine to the feminine. One of the energetic techniques to do a quick balance is called a zipper, where it's just getting in your energy within 4 inches of your body and just with your hands doing a zipper, like from your pelvic bone up to your lower lip. So Miss Mary Mac is kind of that same type of energy, except then going further and balancing from right to left and left to right, etc. All right, so let's see from this animal deck. What is the message? What is our takeaway from the reads today? We have the swans. There's the twin energy of reflecting. And then with the children, this is perfect because this is exactly what came up. It's all about the twin energies and also seeing yourself in your children, that newbie energy, right? That's really pure and fresh. Is there anything else that comes up here? And these are kind of onlookers here, right? The group, the wise ones, the ones who may trigger you, and then the collective wound here, or an infection of some kind. And again, the star, right? This is the star in the middle that gets all the attention. Oh, and then there's the dolphin there, which is really beautiful energy. And look at that. It's like the carpenter bee. It's like this is Jesus as the carpenter, and then Mary Magdalene is the dolphin energy over here of the Lemurian energy. So there's a wound about being the star or being seen, about being ganged up on. Or again, remember, with the star, it's not easy to be a star with the attention on you constantly. It's that same energy as being in a fight, the car accident, whatever the wound is, right? The entry wound to anything is the trigger point that's coming up here, right? With the wisdom, but also the trigger, they're both in dark energy. It's just that the wise owl is able to clear it a little bit better. But this is very dark energy. It's the panther coming in and kind of causing havoc in the middle of everything and causing this fight, perhaps, that then draws a lot of attention, right? And again, the superficialness of stardom, which is very shallow energy, and then kind of getting past all that. And it's like getting past the accident and the horror show to get to the good spot, the good part, right? And then the star of the show is, right? This is like the pre-show, and then the star comes out. And there's the stars of the show, which is the Jesus and Mary Magdalene energy of the twins and the newbies, perhaps newly together, or that can represent a child as well. The bottom of the deck is the beaver, which also came out earlier. And we have the spider web underneath that, which has to do with the collective grid. And again, we were talking about letting go of karma. You notice this card right here is the karma card. It came up reversed today. I don't do these cards in reversal. So there was a meaning for that, right? Letting go of our karmic connection to the grid. The hardworking beaver, who's very well balanced right in the middle and is happy to keep building the dam, and he gives a dam, right? Again, there's the spider in there. Again, this is reflecting that collective energy. So when you have this card, they reflect each other, right? This is in the light, but there's a lot of dark energy pulled in there, whereas this is the opposite, where it's in the dark, but there's all that rainbow energy in the grid there, reflecting it, right? There's always the energy in the middle, right? The main spot, the zero point here, the entry wound, or the place of high command is what I'm getting, right? Like the lion's den. But this is the bottom of the deck is the beaver, right? Getting out of the grid, getting out of a sticky situation by just being really practical and keeping to themselves and keeping their nose to the grindstone is the energy coming up around that. Okay, but the initial cards is this really beautiful energy. So let's pull from the Shaman Dreams deck. See what comes up there. I was doing a lot of cleaning up today, which was a good thing. But it feels, when I have my usual thing I do when I get into my videos, so it feels a little different when I'm coming from having cleaned up the house and everything. All right, let's see here. What is our takeaway from the read today? Okay, we have stranger and curiosity. 53 is a catapult, but it's also the Knight of Swords, which can be a messenger of truth, the Knight in shining armor. But again, it's the fastest knight in the deck, and it has to do with communication coming in. And it can be a little bit harsh with the swords, right? And maybe this could be a stranger, maybe poking around, maybe curious about something, and maybe curious about you. All right, somebody's thinking about somebody here, reflecting about them, but really not knowing what to make of them yet. And with that, we have the empty well. It's time to replenish. Maybe someone's kept their distance for a long time from something, whether it's work or family or love relationship, and it's time to fill up the well. And it looks like 0 point as well. It's the 16 though. There's a lot of sudden energy here with the catapult and the Knight of Swords rushing in, and the Tower, which is some kind of sudden event or epiphany, right? There definitely could be a sudden epiphany that all of a sudden they didn't realize their well was empty, and now they realized suddenly that their well's empty, and they're thinking about someone or something that they'd like to replenish that emptiness with. And then we have the 62, which is the 8 of Swords. Will of the wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. And again, this is like releasing yourself from that imprisonment, that self-imprisonment, in a sudden epiphany or some kind of sudden event that releases you to hidden treasures in the shadows that you didn't see before. The bottom of the deck is the stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. It's like they're sitting in the middle of the bridge again, meditating. The 51 is the King of Swords again. So we have the King of Swords on the bottom of this deck, along with the Knight of Swords, the Tower, and the 8 of Swords, right? And the Tower can represent a prison, literally. This is about either the self-imprisonment or the releasing of yourself from this imprisonment that's empty, that needs to be now refilled or replenished suddenly, okay? And this starts with the stranger. Are you a stranger to yourself, or is there somebody else you're thinking about, which is bringing on this epiphany regarding the stars in the sky and limitless possibilities there actually are, and the King of Swords thinking about these things. Okay, so it's very much about the King of Swords here. And the Tower brings up Scorpio energies too. Could be a Libra energy that just came up with the King of Swords and Scorpio in their chart, perhaps. Or maybe Scorpio's the energy that they're thinking about, but it doesn't have to be. It could be anything. So let's see what comes up with the Journey of Love. And that first card's coming up with in the same position as the 2 swans. So it's literally somebody, and look in the first card here. He's reflecting himself in the water. He's having an epiphany about his own reflection. The stranger that he sees in the water, who's his twin in this case, because this is a twin reading, and the sudden epiphany of the well that needs to be filled regarding hidden treasures in the shadows, releasing themselves from their self-made prison. So let's see what the Journey of Love has here. There's 2 cards coming up right away. Angel of Jupiter Awakening, which is number 6 in the Lovers, or Love, Family, and Community. And again, this is that card of the Jesus and Mary Magdalene energy, staying in their own lanes with a little bit of space between, because as they keep going, it'll just naturally become one lane, and they'll be two as one. The angel of Jupiter awakening, which is lovers, and the benevolence of Jupiter, which is about expansion. And then again, the 62 of imprisonment and the choice, which has to do with release here. And I always get the note, like an 8th note or something, or a 16th note there, and the tower came up. That's the 16. And then we have the swan, which is the Knight of Pentacles, the loyal, humble servant, right? Very simple. It's very, the choice is very simple. Do you want to be in prison or you want to not be in prison? Make it simple. Okay? The lovers release from prison to become the humble, loyal servant, right? And just keep their life simple. It's about the contentment, you know, staying in the middle as opposed to the extremes in life. And then the bottom of the deck is the light field. I'll show you that one. The 63, which is the 9 of Swords, which is that suffering in silence, the stress, the anxiety of feeling like you're in the middle of this bridge. Again, we just saw that in the other deck. You know, totally exposed to the elements and how difficult that is. So do you want to stay in this situation right there? Or do you want to maybe build a house around you so you don't have to feel that? Or maybe you want to come off the bridge somewhere to take a break. The light field, the 63, and what's underneath there? There again, we have the simplicity here of the 4 and the Emperor. So it's all about keeping it simple here, right? If it gets complicated, you know, you might end up in a shitstorm here. Which is that, you know, the 9 of Swords is the hardest card because being really in your head, and it was just 444 to 445, the angelic realms into that sadness of purging. Right? When we get a lot of light, we then end up purging because just like eating food, we poop and pee out the residue. It's the same thing with light. The light we get from the sun, we then have to purge out either the light that has collected the dark energy that needs to leave our body, or just the overdose of light that our body can't handle. Sometimes you purge to release that light. It's the same thing with food. Okay, so to keep it simple on both sides, and the underlying energy, you go from this simple black and white and peacefulness to this, you know, craziness of being in the middle of the bridge with all this light coming at you. You know, that's not an easy feeling. And then coming out with this. Going with the flow, staying in your own lane, being patient, and just allowing things to happen as they're supposed to, right? That's divine timing. This one lane comes together. The two lanes as one becomes together as the lovers decide to release themselves from their imprisonment of their mind and keep it simple with the swan of the Knight of Pentacles, humble, loyal servant. And we have the beaver was at the bottom of the other deck too. So there's very much that energy of the humble, loyal servant. Happy, to be at your service, ma'am, type of energy. Yeah. So let's go ahead and I'm going to read that to you, but let me pull you an energy card first. And we're going to read the swans and the 6 of the angel of Jupiter awakening. And how they relate to each other. And you notice there's the swans, it's very much the same union energy, right? The swans is the first card in this deck, and then the two the Mary Magdalene Jesus energy here in this card is reflecting that same energy of the lovers. And that expansive awakening. Okay, let's see what the energy deck says, and then we're going to read about those two cards. And we had the 8 of Swords in 2 decks too, so it really is about releasing yourself from anxieties and imprisonment energies. It's always your choice. We always say, I don't have a choice. I have to pay the bills, I have to do this. Whether it's a job, whether it's family, whether it is, you always have a choice. It's just, do you have faith that the universe has your back if you're willing to get out of your own way? Because you're either in love or fear, and frustration and worry is fear. So if you can get out of that, the universe, the energy naturally flows. It's not until we go into fear that we block that energy from helping us. You think of it as, when you make a wish, that wish has to go around the world first, has to go through everybody else's energies before it comes full circle around back to you again. And sometimes that could take a minute, sometimes that can take 10 years. But you have to have faith that it's it's fact. It's energy. Energy's energy. You can't lie. It takes time to travel and become something else. That's the whole alchemy of it. That you have to just get out of your own way to allow it to happen. That's about letting go of the attachment and the resistance and just allowing all that is. And the negative and the positive, right? And loving those energies in your body that don't feel good. Send love to them. Ask them what they need. There you have the heart. The broken heart needs to break in order to expand. There's the 9 again of the Hermit. So we have the Hermit and the Libra energy, which came up in the die as well, because that's the middle of the horoscope, right? Literally from Virgo to Libra is the midpoint of the astrological chart. That perfect balance of that Knight of Pentacles, that humble, loyal servant, you know? The ones that are happy to live in contentment as opposed to living in the extremes of duality, right? If you have great thrills and excitement, you're going to have to live with the agony of defeat as well, right? The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, or would you rather have peace and love and a higher vibration? This is the choice that we're making right now. The Hermit is the one and the all. It's connected to the all, but is the one. Allowing their heart to break so that it can expand and heal even bigger than before, just like the Grinch. And there's that anxiety of the 8 of Swords. It's also the 18, which is my birthday. And my birthday showed up again today in the time, or yesterday. It's been coming up a lot this week. But again, the 9-18, they're both 9s. And again, the moon, but the purple moon's now coming up with the 18. And the 9 is the Hermit. So again, going within to 0 point. But you have to let go of anxiety to do that. The anxiety related to the broken heart. Knowing that it had to break in order to grow and heal. And also having faith will allow you to step out of this anxiety and into love instead of fear. So again, this like these two reversed. And then there's the twins coming together. The 14 is the higher love of the Temperance card, along with the Angel of Balance, which is that energy between Virgo and Libra, the 48 of walking away within of the Hermit. Okay. Yeah, and then we have the Temple Path as the next card, which is Wisdom. And the bottom of the deck is the 46 of the inner children becoming a child again and finding their mission. The thinking man here. So again, is that Libra energy. Okay. We also have, well, there's Virgo, Libra we already established, which is here too. We have Libra, Aquarius, and Virgo. And then there's Virgo and Cancer and Sagittarius also coming in here, and Pisces with number 12 for me as well, which also can be Capricorn for me. It's about healing the heart by freeing yourself from that mental prison. And let's read what the books have to say for us with the doves, or the swans rather. Looking in the wrong book. All right, swans, where are you? The swan, effortless creativity, sensitive mystic, and elegant power. The swan represents heightened creativity in Hindu mythology. The goddess Saraswati, the embodiment of language, creativity, and artistry, I was just getting Yoko Ono coming up, rides on the back of this graceful creature. The swan is ready to take us there, to the fluid realm of writing, creating, and reflecting. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention, for solo time. An inner voice is waiting to be heard, an inner vision likely to be revealed. When in balance is infinite creative power. When out of balance, agitated, snippy, and lacking vision. To bring back into balance, solo time or writing. So again, it's very matching that energy of the man reflecting in the water. And then we have Jupiter awakening, number 6. Angel of Jupiter awaken. Beloved, within you there is magnificence, greatness, and the ability to live bolder, larger, and more exuberantly than you may have ever imagined. Awaken that keen spirit, hungry for adventure and new experience. The angel of Jupiter, the spirit of bold expansion and divine generosity, lives within you. Your spirit cannot be made small, but must be free. Start now. Feel the endlessness of your own heart. What can be done today to live bigger? A smile? A yes to that offer of adventure? Sharing vulnerability without fear? Taking a step forward into the unknown? Daring to imagine that the divine doesn't just happen to you, but happens through you, as you? Embrace the courage of your own open heart and dare to dream, beloved. The bold divine nature within you is calling you to great things. Now is your time to awaken. This oracle holds a message of guidance for you. You're being given an opportunity that can change your life. Don't hesitate to accept it. If you're acting with more assertiveness, more generosity, more playfulness, and more spiritual authority than usual, this is confirmation that this is coming from a genuine place within you. If you're experiencing some havoc in your life, and that was like the panther energy coming in, or a sense that things are changing, this oracle comes as affirmation. Yes, there is change. And yes, you're outgrowing what once was. So you will be prepared to receive that which is more suited for your next stage of growth. Awaken your arms. I wait to stop time, savoring each moment for an eternity. Like an angel, you light the room. Your love giving life to the love I've held within. Unbridled and free, our dream unfolds, and we are forever changed. That's really beautiful. So it's a reminder that in order to become more expansive, it's not about going to the extremes and duality. It's about making things more simple, right? Love or fear. Which one are you in? Right? Because when you can stay in that love energy, that's where we create from, that 0 point field in the now moment inside of our hearts, because we're no longer blocking ourselves. So I invite you to make sure to drink plenty of water, which helps your body work better, and for you to connect to the other side. And make sure to get plenty of rest, because you naturally connect to the other side while you're sleeping. And your beauty rest, right, makes you feel better about yourself. And the joy in nature of connecting with outside and making sure to get some sun in your face and your eyes. And remember, all is well. Are you good in this moment? You have 4 walls around you. You have a roof. You have somebody who loves you. All is well in every moment. It's 4:56 on the clock, and it was just 52:25. Rise and be love.